Namaste, Ram Ram Ram, Sarvebhyaha. We will just begin with the prayer. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaje Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave Na guru paramam shishurasmi guru Matirasti gurau mama pahi guru. Namaste Sarvebhyaha. Welcome to the class 2 of Stories Behind Temples, part 2. So I am sure all of you are very much excited to know which Divya Deshams we will be visiting today. So also the recordings of these sessions will be uploaded by the end of the sessions, like by the end of this course. That is on Saturday, this course will get over. By then, all the recordings of these sessions, whichever is being conducted, will be uploaded by then. So you can all access it later after the final class. I hope this is clear. In case if you feel that the recordings are not there after each class, we will not be uploading it right now. Only after the final class, we will upload the recordings. I hope this is clear. Okay. Thank you so much. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaste, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of Stories Behind Temples, season 2, visit to Divya Desams. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of your faces. Namaste, namaste. Let us put our faces on in the beginning of the session. How many of you could make it last time, yesterday? Were you able to come yesterday? Okay. How many of you are attending only today? If coming only today, okay. Welcome, welcome, namaste. Welcome to the session. Yesterday we did something, we had a brilliant start to the Divya Desams, because a quick recap for those who are joining only today. So what are Divya Desams? Divya Desam, Divya, divine, Desam, abode, divine abode of the Lord, of Lord Narayana. There are so many Vishnu temples. What makes Divya Desam so special? It's special because of the Alvars, the devotees of Lord Vishnu, who went from place to place to place and sung his glories, sung his praises. And because of the devotee, the Lord's house gets even more powerful, and hence they are called the Divya Desams. Each Divya Desam has seen many of these Alvars. Who are the Alvars? Alvars are the saints and sages who have given their life to spread bhakti for the Lord amongst common people. So we will not unmute in the middle. Okay. We will unmute only when required towards the end. Thank you. So whatever we want to share or ask as questions, please hold on to them. Towards the end, you will get a chance to ask questions, to share your opinions, to tell us more about the Divya Desams that we've been seeing. Okay, so this is the introduction. And yesterday we went to this place that we actually call Koil. So what is Koil? Koil is any temple, right? But in the Vaishnava Sampradaya, when you say Koil, it's the biggest one, the massive Divya Desam. And that is Sri Rangam. Sri Rangam is considered the first Divya Desam, and that is also the biggest Divya Desam on Bhuloka. It's also called Bhuloka Vaikunta. So for all of you to have a quick, I'm going to share one quiz. Okay, it's like a crossword. So it's a quick recap on Sri Rangam also. So all of us can take some time, and if you have a pen and paper, it will be helpful. Always for this session, please sit down with a pen and paper if you are going to have, interesting things to write down, notes to take. So please do Hold on to a pen and paper. That will help. Okay. So we went to Sri Rangam yesterday and we saw the beautiful temple and structure. And so this is a quick quiz. It's not to test you, it's rather to recap, and I will be discussing the answers as well. So 5 minutes to you in case you can solve a few of them. Across, the first question is, who brought Sri Ranganatha to Sri Rangam? Remember a character from the Ramayana? Sri Ranganatha was not native to Sri Rangam. Yes. Who brought Sri Ranganatha to Sri Rangam? Yes. Yeah, Meenakshi, what's the answer?
Vibhishana.
That's right. Second is Dash Nachiyar is the name of the Muslim devotee of Lord Ranganatha having a shrine at Sri Rangam. Vishishta, do you know?
I don't remember, ma'am.
Okay, Meenakshi.
Ma'am, it starts with THH, Tulla Nachiyar.
Almost. Please put your videos on if you want to answer. It will be good to have your videos on. Charu? Tuluka Nachiyar or BB Nachiyar, that's right. Very good. And name of the elephant that has been serving Lord Ranganatha for 36 years. Do you know this? It is a name that all of you will know. It is a name of one of the Alvars. And it is the name of Lord Ranganatha's favorite devotee, who is a lady. Any answers? Okay, Krishna.
Is it Andal?
It is right. Andal. Andal is the name of the elephant. Okay, Dash stands tall with a pot of nectar right opposite Ranganatha. He has a big statue right opposite Ranganatha. Mahalakshmi ji. Who is that? Who stands tall? Dhanvantri. Can't hear you. Dhanvantri, no. Who else knows? Charu, yeah, go for it.
Garuda.
Garuda, correct answer. Very good. The selfless person who distracted the sultans while idol of Ranganatha was being saved and taken away. Yeah, Vibha. Go for it.
Mom, I remember that she was in an undercover mission, but she's a very good dancer.
Yeah, but Gopuram is named after her. What is her name? Her name coincides with a color. Okay, Lasya, go for it.
Vellala, something Vellala.
Vellai is correct. Vellai Gopuram and Vellai. Vellai means white in Tamil, and Vellai is the fair-natured person. Vellai. Okay, it's not about the skin, it's about the heart. And the temple where Sri Ranganatha's idol stayed for over 48 years in protection. Which temple was this? Let's see. Vishishta, yes.
Tirupati.
Tirupati, correct answer. Very good. Okay, let's go over to Ranganatha's consorts in this place are Sri Devi and you know who else? There are two consorts. Consorts as in his spouses, wives. Okay, Narayana Gandhi. Go ahead. You have not unmuted yourself, sir. But yeah, I saw your lip movement. I think it's Bhudevi you said, right? Bhudevi is correct answer. Very good. Sri Devi and Bhudevi. Bhudevi being Bhumata. Okay? Very good. Dash wrote the Ramayana in Tamil, which was inaugurated in this temple. Who wrote Ramayana in Tamil and inaugurated it in this particular temple? Anybody knows? Ishan Tripathi. Ishan?
Ma'am, is it Kamb?
Kamban. Correct.
Kamb.
Kamban.
Yes.
That's right. So Kamban, he wrote it and he, they call it Arangetram. Arangetram means in front of the public, announcing it for the first time. So he kind of read it out to everybody, and there was a point where, there were some lines of thought which were not in sync with his. And people said he shouldn't have written it that way and all of that. And that is when there was a roar from the Narasimha Sannidhi, it seems, where Narasimha himself accepted Kamban's version of the Ramayana. So that's the legend of the temple. Okay. Tradition of singing and dancing to Pasurams of Alvars started by Acharya Nadamuni. What is that particular tradition called? You remember, with the headgear and all that? What is that called? If you know the answer, put your hand up, okay? Otherwise, lower your hands. Don't keep it raised there. Yeah. Vaidegiri, Vaidegishri. Vaidegishri?
I don't know.
Okay, please lower your hand. Who else knows? Okay, Charu.
Arayar Sevai.
That's right, Arayar Sevai. So this tradition has been keeping the Pasurams intact, and it is not just on literature, but it becomes a practice, a custom, so that it is a living tradition. It's not just on the books. So that is what was Nada Muni's contribution. And the island of Srirangam is sandwiched between two rivers. One is Kaveri. What is the other? Vishuddha, do you know the answer? What's the other river?
Ma'am, I forgot.
Okay, right. Lower your hand. Lower your hand. Okay. Pragalpa.
Ma'am, is it Kolida?
Kollidam. Correct. Kollidam is the other one. One is Kaveri, the other is Kollidam. Okay. If you don't know freshly, you can raise your hands for the next question. Okay. You can put your hands down. The festival when Nalayira Divya Prabandham is rendered to Namberumal is called Pagalpattu and dash. So we didn't discuss about this yesterday. I take this as a chance to tell you about this beautiful festival. I spoke to you about Panguni Uttiram festival. Similarly, this is another beautiful festival where all the 4,000 Divya Prabandhams are sung, so that the Divya Prabandhams are also remembered, So Nam Perumal, who is this? He is actually the main Lord Vishnu there. The Alagiya Manavalan, he is called Nam Perumal. Nam means our. Perumal is Vishnu. So our Vishnu. People, everybody in the town says Nam Perumal, Nam Perumal, Nam Perumal. That means he's ours, he's ours. So that is the kind of attachment people have towards the deity there. So this, anybody knows the answer to this? P. Swaminathan, would you like to try? What is this festival?
Rapat, Pagalpattu, Rapat.
Correct. Pagalpattu and Rapattu. That's the festival. Okay. So there is one particular person in this, the whole temple, and his body is embalmed and enshrined in this temple. Who is that? Avantika?
Nammalvar?
No. Amlan Sahu. Amlan. Okay. Uma Devi.
Ramanujacharya.
That's right. Ramanujacharya. He has a separate shrine because whatever he has done to this temple is immense. And also his contribution to Vaishnava culture is immense. So that is why he is considered to be residing in the temple even today. Okay. Sri Ranganatha is the only Perumal facing which direction? We had this in the story yesterday. He's facing a particular, yes, Pranav. Which direction is he facing?
South.
Why is he facing south, Pranav?
Because Rama Vibhishana was sad that
That's right.
Ranganatha Swami was in Sri Rangam.
That's right. Because he wanted to satisfy Vibhishana also. He said, don't worry, you go to Lanka. I will face Lanka and be there. Right? So that is the Utsava Murti. I mean, that's the Moolavar facing that way. And what is the name of the Utsava Murti of this place? Okay. Advaita Aravind.
Ma'am, Aragiya Manavali.
Correct. And what does it mean?
Ma'am, beautiful groom.
That's right. The handsome or the beautiful groom. Always groom like he will look. Okay. So that's the beauty of Sri Ranganatha here. The Lord of Health who has a separate shrine in Sri Rangam. Anybody knows who is that? Let's see who knows. Shakti. Shakti? Okay. Lasya. Lasya? You're not unmuting yourself. Yeah, Shakti. Again muted back. Okay, Pragalpa.
Ma'am, is it Lord Vishnu?
Lord Vishnu in the form of who? Because the whole temple itself is for Lord Vishnu only. But there is a particular form of Lord Vishnu for health.
Is it Dhanvantari?
Ah, that's right. That's right. Dhanvantari is the right answer. Very good. So this is overall the whole thing that we saw. In short, what we have seen yesterday, this is what is our overall recap from yesterday. Okay. Now moving on, we are going to a few more because some of you had asked. That's right. On chat also, all of you have replied. Very good. So some of you had asked yesterday. I request all of you to lower your hands now, because as of now, we will not go into asking questions again. Yeah, lower your hands as of now. Thank you very much. Lower your hands. Yeah, now, so we are going to also learn about some of the stories of the Alvars who were born in and around this region. So there is a lovely Alvar. His name is Tiruppan Alvar. So Tiruppan Alvar is known for his beautiful melodious voice. And he is like a bard who goes from place to place to place singing songs. And songs especially praising the Lord. So he's a folk singer, you could call him that. With a yar, he always goes around. Yar is a string instrument of the past. So once what happened, he was just lost thinking and singing about the Lord. And he belonged to this Urayur region, very close to Sri Rangam. So while he was on the way sitting and singing the Lord's name, the priest of the temple had to bring the holy waters to the temple to do the abhisheka. He tried his best to make him move away, but he was not able to hear. He was just lost. He was not even in his senses because he was thinking of his Lord and singing. So what did this priest do? He threw something at him, made him move and left. And that something hurt him. And he started bleeding. But Tiruppan Alvar never even knew that he was bleeding. He continued singing the Lord's songs and singing about the Lord's form, because all he could think of and see in his mind's eye was the Lord. So that time what happened? He left and the priest goes to the Sri Rangam main Sannidhi, and he was going to offer the Lord the water that he brought and all the other things. That is when he saw that the Lord himself is bleeding. And that was very weird, that the Lord is bleeding. And then it hit him that, oh, then that somebody whom I thought was a nobody and hit something and came to the service of the Lord, that somebody was the Lord himself, the Lord's favorite. So that is the story of Tiruppan Alvar. So the Lord himself, it seems, comes in the dream of the priest and asks the head priest to carry this person to the temple. Okay, not just bring this person, carry him on your shoulders and bring him to me. So the next day, the head priest goes, he carries this man on him. This man is still, the Tiruppan Alvar is still singing. And he comes straight into Sri Rangam Koil, right to the Sannidhi. And there he sings, he sees the Lord for the very first time fully. And from head to toe, he sings of the Lord. Okay, he describes everything that he sees, and that is considered one of the greatest chants. Okay, so that is the story of Tiruppan Alvar. And in just 10 verses that he sang about the Lord, he felt and he melted for the Lord so much that he became one with the Lord. He dropped his body and got moksha right there in just 10 verses. So that was his connection to the Lord, it is said. Okay. Then comes Tirumangai Alvar. Tirumangai Alvar is very famous. He is sung in many of the Divya Desams. And one of the main places he has sung in is definitely Sri Rangam and Urayur. So here what happened is, Tirumangai Alvar is also married to another great devotee of Lord Vishnu. As a couple, they used to feed every devotee of Lord Vishnu. So when they were, in their love for Vishnu, their commitment that they had taken is, we will feed. But then Lord Vishnu always tests his devotees, in a very, in a way that others will realize the importance of those devotees. Because the devotees don't go about saying, I do this, I do that, this is the charity I do. They don't say that. So he wants his devotees to be known. So he created a kind of a recession, so that these people lost their wealth little by little, but still they did not leave their habit of feeding the Vishnu devotees. So that was their commitment to the Lord, right? So they continued feeding. At one point in time, there was a shortage of funds. So he decided, as a couple, they decided, and he said, that is Tirumangai Alvar said, I will at least, rob, but I will still serve the Lord. So he goes and he stops a marriage party, a very extravagant marriage party. So he stops them. He asks everybody to remove all their jewels, and he takes it, and all the grains, he takes them all. And finally, the bride, the bride is trying to take out the meti. When they are married, there is a toe ring. In Indian culture, the toe ring is put. So that's what makes you look married. That is the symbol of marriage, right? So he is also trying to take it out. Everybody is trying to take it out, but that is not coming out. And then he realizes that lady is none other than Mahalakshmi, and the groom is none other than Lord Vishnu himself. So he himself has given darshan saying, hey, you don't have to go down to the level of robbing. I only artificially created the situation for you so that just to test, what do you do? What do you compromise on your duty to me? But you never compromised on your duty, and that is what makes you very special. So that is the story of Tirumangai Alvar. And he is also called Alinadan. And there is I told you there are 11 prakarams in Sri Rangam. The third prakaram is named after him. In his honor, it was built. Okay. When it comes to Alvars, we cannot be without speaking about one of the favorites of Lord Vishnu, which is Andal. So Andal, right from her childhood, she's been growing up dreaming of Lord Vishnu, dreaming of him everywhere. You know, he's been her best friend. So she used to wear the garlands meant for Lord Vishnu and then secretly keep it back. And her dad, who was also an Alvar, would take it to the temple and offer it to the Lord. Once he noticed that this girl has been doing this, he shouted at her and changed the mala, saying, how can I give the Lord the mala that this little girl has worn? So that is when he got it in his dream that Lord Vishnu was very disappointed with that mala that day. He wanted the same mala that Andal has worn, not any other mala. So that made him realize that this is not an ordinary girl. She is Mahalakshmi herself. So she grew up and she wrote the Pasurams. There are 30 Pasurams she wrote, which is called Tirupavai. And this Tirupavai is sung in every Margari for every day. One day, one Pasuram, taking you towards the Lord. So she is not intent on, like she alone wants to reach the Lord. It's not like that. She wakes up everybody early morning saying, Lord Vishnu is awake. What is your business sleeping now? All of you wake up, all of you wake up. And she takes everybody to Lord Vishnu. So that is Andal's love for Ranganatha. And Andal and Ranganatha got married here. So this is a very special place for Andal. And Andal becomes, so her name is Andal, right? In Tamil, Andal means the one who conquered. But why should she be with the one who conquered? She conquered her Lord, the Lord of her heart. She conquered him through her love. So that is why she's called Andal. So she has a special place here in this temple. And there is also a Kannadi Arai in Sri Rangam. So that is where the marriage ceremony happens between the two of them. And yeah, she married the Lord of her dreams. Can you see? Ranganatha, Ranganayaki. She becomes Ranganayaki. And of course, this is the elephant we spoke about earlier. The elephant's name is also Andal. Very beautiful, nice looking elephant. Okay. We are going to the neighboring Divya Desam today, Urayur. So Urayur is another beautiful place, very close to Sri Rangam. It's in the Trichy segment itself. So if you see Divya Desams, we saw yesterday that there are 108 Divya Desams, out of which 105 are in India, of which 80 plus Divya Desams are in Tamil Nadu itself. Okay, 80 out of 105. So majority are in the Tamil Nadu region. Then there are around 13 Divya Desams in Kerala, 2 Divya Desams in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana region, and a few of them in the north and in the west. So in west, literally, there is only Dwaraka. So that way, the Divya Desams are, because the majority of the Alvars are from Tamil Nadu. So the Alvars must have walked and gone to these places and sung multiple songs. So the majority are in the south. Okay. So let's go to this place called Urayur. Urayur is extra special also because many of you must have seen PS2 recently, which is released. Yeah. Urayur was the capital of the Cholas as well. One of the capitals of Cholas. So that is why Urayur is extra special. And the temple here was built by one of the Cholas, the early ones. His name is Nanda Chola. And his daughter Kamalavalli Nachiyar became the deity of the temple. Okay, and she is also considered one of the wives of Sri Ranganatha. Let's see how that happened. Look at her. This is how she looks. Very pretty, right? She looks like a bride always. Okay, Kamalavalli Nachiyar is always looking at like a bride because she will wait for her Alagiya Manavalan to come and marry. Okay, so that's the beauty of this temple. And the traditional name of this place is called Tirukkozhiyur. Okay, so Kodi means in Tamil, Kodi means cock or a hen. Okay, so why Kozhiyur? Because it's said, legend goes that when there was a wild elephant which came into this area, it seems a cock defended the whole village. And the kind of drama and the guts that the cock showed, the elephant ran away. So such is the guts of the soil, they say. Okay, so that is Tirukkozhiyur. And here you see the Serthi Sevai here. Serthi as in the coming together of Sri Ranganatha and Kamalavalli Nachiyar here. So what is his business here? What happened? So the story goes that the Urayur Tayar, Urayur meaning the place, Tayar is the goddess of this place, is the daughter of Nanda Chola. Nanda Chola actually did not have a child for a very long time, and later on one of his hunting expeditions, he found a baby girl amidst lotuses in a pond in a forest, and he took it as his prasadam. He brought her back home, grew her up as his own daughter, and gave her the name Kamalavalli. Kamala means lotus, the one who is amidst the lotus. And she was Kamalavalli Tayar, and she fell in love with this young man and married him. So that young man is none other than Perumal. Perumal as in Nam Perumal, Lord Vishnu. And this king had also contributed greatly to the Srirangam temple as well. So there is a custom, there is something called Panguni Uttaram, Panguni festival. So how we say Valentine's Day and all that, right? But the Indian Valentine's Day, Valentine's month, we should call it, is Panguni Uttaram. Okay, Panguni month and Uttaram star. So Panguni Uttaram, maximum number of marriages happen. It's very, very auspicious to us. So Shiva Parvati marriage happens. And then Muruga's birthday is celebrated. All these happen on Panguni Uttaram. And one of the major things happening on Panguni Uttaram is the Srirangam Sethi. Okay. So it's a marriage day for so many gods and goddesses. Okay. So what happens during the Panguni festival in Srirangam, which is like 10 days long, the Panguni festival, Ranganatha will be back in Srirangam. But one day before, he will make a detour and he will make a walk to Urayur. So there will be people carrying him to Urayur, the nearby Divyadesam. There, Kamalavalli Tayar will be waiting to see Alagiya Manavalan. So she will be facing which direction? She will be facing north. Because Srirangam is facing south, she'll be facing north. So that she'll be waiting out there, waiting for her groom to come. And the groom will come and there will be a Serthi Sevai and there will be a lot of celebration. And then the groom will leave in a hurry because the next day he has to be with Ranganayaki. Okay, so next day he will be hurrying, he'll be going back. And on the way, he will realize that the main ring of his, he left it back in Urayur with Kamalavalli. So what does he do? As he goes through the Chittirai Teru, he will collect from all the devotees, there will be donations collected so that he will buy a ring and go back in time to meet Ranganayaki so that Ranganayaki is not angry with him. But then what happens? Ranganayaki is all knowing. So when he reaches, there will be, this is a custom very beautifully, dramatically presented, where there will be people bringing Alagiya Manavalan, and the door of Ranganayaki will shut on his face. And he will be asked to stay out. And again, people will try to bring him in. And again, it will be shut. And there is a very beautiful custom called Mattai Adi. Adi means hit. Mattai Adi means they will be hitting with butter and all nice, soft things, Butter, curd, and flowers and all that will be used. And those who are supporters of Ranganayaki will be hitting supporters of Sri Ranganatha. Okay, so there will be a conversation after that. First, it will be fight. And after that, there will be conversation. So that is where all these Arayar Seve comes in, all the people dressed, and they will be there to negotiate. So there will be somebody saying Namperumal's side of the story, and somebody representing Ranganayaki saying, no, I am not for this. And this conversation will happen for a long time. And finally, there is, who negotiates the deal and stops the fight between the two of them? Nammalvar. So Nammalvar, who is one of the Alvars, who is considered to be Lord's favorite, he is like a son to both of them, So he will come up and say, that is one of the characters will be represented as Nammalvar, and that character will say, will convince the Devi to take Sri Ranganatha back, and finally they will come together. So this is a custom, beautiful to watch. I'm going to try and play it as well. A lot of drama happens. Just a second. Yeah, this
சரியெல்லாம் புகுந்து வேதாமனோரதம் அனுபவித்து அந்த அனுபவத்தால் உண்டாயிருக்கிற அடையாளங்கள் எல்லாம் திருமேனியிலே ஸ்பஷ்டமாய் தோத்தானுக்கச் செய்தேயும் அந்த அடையாளங்களை எல்லாம் அந்நியதாவாக சொல்லிக்கொண்டு நாங்கள் ஸ்ரீகளானபடியினாலே இப்படிப்பட்ட வஞ்சனோக்திகளை எல்லாம் சொல்ல வந்தாரே, அதுவும் எப்போதையும் போலே சாத்திக் கொள்ளாமல் திருவேங்கடமுடையால் திருமண் காப்பு போலே தாறுமாறாய் சாத்திய அத்தனையும் புண்ணியதாவாக கொண்டு சத்தும் திருவுள்ளத்தில் இரக்கம் வராமல் கோபத்தாலே திருக்கண்கள் சிவந்து திருமுகமண்டலம் கருத்து இப்படி எழுந்தருளியிருந்தார். நமக்கென்ன கதி இருக்கிறது? ஆனபடி.
So it's like the bhaktas are negotiating on behalf of gods and trying to allow the Lord to come in. So you can also Google Mattai Adi, Mattai at Sri Rangam. You can Google Mattai Adi and see at your own pace and time. So that is also an interesting ritual to watch. Okay. So with that, we conclude Urayur, the neighbor of Sri Rangam. Urayur has also got Alagiya Manavalan to be their Utsava Murti. That's, their Moolavar. Okay, because Utsavar is not there. Why? Because Utsavar comes just before Panguni Uttiram festival year, comes there and goes back, right? So Alagiya Manavalan is the Lord here as well as Sri Rangam. So where are we traveling next? So we are traveling to the next kingdom nearby, the kingdom of the Cheras, the kingdom of Kerala. And here we go to Ananta Padmanabha Swami temple, Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Okay, this is another beautiful sthala. Always we hear of this sthala as the richest, the most expensive, the biggest vault. But that is not what we should know the Lord by. There is so much more to this place than just the money it holds. Okay. So Thiruvananthapuram, look at the Gopuram. The Gopuram itself is very unique. It is a very flat Gopuram. Did you see the Srirangam Gopuram? It will be very tall, but here it is very flat and very huge, wide. Okay. And look at the Lord here. The Lord here is not 1 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet. He's 18 feet long, nicely reclining, nicely lying down. So he is fully reclined, and there are 3 doors through which we will see the Lord in this particular place. That is what is very special. And of course, this place has its mention in many, many Puranas. One of the earliest being Bhagavatam and Brahmanda Purana. So, so this place, this Kshetra, is very, very ancient. Okay. And of course, Lord Padmanabha. So he is Ananta Padmanabha Swami. What is Ananta? Ananta means limitless, huge, infinite. That is Ananta. Padmanabha. Padmanabha means Padma means lotus. Nabha means lotus coming from the navel. So the lotus that comes from his navel is holding Lord Brahma. So that will be there here. And Ananta Padmanabha Swami. Okay. So there will be 3 darshans we will take of the single Lord. One is his feet. Of course, yesterday also I told you, our focus first should go to the feet, not to the eyes, not to the jewelry, not to this, that. First look for the Lord's feet. So then comes the navel, from which the Padmanabha, Nabha means navel, Padma comes out from there, and then the eyes. Okay. So this is how the darshan happens. And this basically it will look very dark inside. That when the Deepartana is shown, that is when the priest will show, look at the leg, look at this, look at that. That is when there will be light. So it is kept that way in this place. Okay. So in 1773, you will see that Martanda Varma, one of the greatest kings of Kerala, he wrote the history of this temple. Okay. So we will talk a little about its legend also, the Sthala Purana also. So he was the one who who made the current form of the deity. The current form of the deity has, like I told you, 18 feet long, and it is sculpted with 12,008 salagrama stones. What is a salagrama stone? Salagrama is a particular kind of a stone which is found only in a nadi, in a river in Nepal called Gandaki Nadi. So from there, the stone is taken, and that stone represents Lord Vishnu. Okay, so Salagrama stone is, many people have it in their puja rooms, and they do puja to the Salagrama stone, and that is considered Lord Vishnu himself. Okay, and when you have a Salagrama at home, there are compulsory rituals to take care of the stone. Okay, it's not like any other idol. So that particular Salagrama stone, 12,000 of them have been used to make his body here. Okay, so the pujas and all the rituals for this temple are all carried out, though it is in Kerala. Kerala, usually you see Nambudris, you see different sects of people doing it. But here it is Tulu Brahmanas. Tulus are ones who are living in the Karnataka coast. Maharashtra, Karnataka, that is where Tulu Nadu is. But why should they come and take care of the temple here? And Thiruvananthapuram is right in the bottom of Kerala. Okay, so why should somebody from there come and take care of it? How did that ritual start? What is the legend? Let us see what is the story. Okay, so there are 2 stories to it. One is there is a rishi called Vyoma-Mangalam. So that rishi called Vyoma-Mangalam was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, and he was a priest also, and he used to do pujas every day and meditate on the Lord. And there was a little boy who used to come and entertain him. So this little boy will always be so cute. He'll come and do small, naughty things. And he will make the Rishi feel so light. And the Rishi loved to have this little kid around. So he wanted to have the kid around. But the kid said, see, I will keep coming, but I will keep coming at my wish. Every day I will come and see you, but I won't stay over. And the moment you disrespect me or scold me, think of me like after all a small child and scold me, I will leave. So that was the kind of deal with the little child. And the little child used to come clinking with the, he will wear the anklets. It is just like Krishna. So he'll come and he will. So one day his naughtiness reached another peak, Even the most cutest things can turn into nasty things sometimes. So that way he went and he all the puja things that were kept for the Salagrama puja, which is a very important thing. Like I told you, as we have Salagrama, we have to be very serious about its puja. So he swallowed even the Salagrama stone into his mouth. He put it in his mouth. And that was not acceptable to the Rishi. The Rishi gave one on the back of his head and scolded him. So the little child ran away and never came back. Now this Vilvamangalam Rishi is feeling very sad and he feels a part of him is lost. And he was not able to feel the joy in the pujas again. So he was praying to the Lord and he set in, he went out searching for this little child. He searched everywhere and suddenly he would hear the clinking of the anklets of the child. So he will go in that direction. That way, it was almost like the giggles and the clinking of the anklets was leading him down south, down south, down south. That way, one of the places when he was passing through and he was resting, that time he heard one of the mothers say, to a little child, if you keep crying, I will throw you off into that annakart. Annakart, what is this annakart? And that is when he got the answer that Annekata is that way. So something made him feel that Annekata is the place where this little child is. He kept going. And on his way, when he reached that particular forest and he was looking for the child and the child's laughter was, he was hearing the child's laughter. That is when a huge tree fell in front of him. The tree was extremely huge. And a voice said to him that you have come to the right place. Now make idol of the Lord out of this particular wood. See me in this wood, is what the Lord said. But it was extremely huge. Such a huge form of the Lord, I am not even able to digest. Oh Lord, please, can you become? He picks up his stick. He is a sannyasi, right? So he has a stick. He says, can you come to some 3 times the size of my stick? My stick is 6 feet long. So 3 times the size, please. That is when at least I can see you from head to toe. Otherwise, I can't even see you. And that is when the Lord, his Ananta form, infinite form, he brought it down to a finite form for his dear devotee. And that is the story how this place got its main Moolavar, Ananta Padmanabha Swami. And immediately when the Lord listens, to you, you immediately want to give something back to the Lord, right? So immediately he saw what was there in the forest. There was nothing to make and give. So he got one raw mango. He got some salt over the raw mango, gave it in, he shredded it. He gave it in a coconut shell. And that became the prasadam. Even today, this prasadam is being fed to the Lord here in Ananta Padmanabha Swami temple. And because he is a Tuluva, still the priests who perform the pujas here are Tulus. So that is the story. Similar story of Divakara Muni is also there. Very similar story. So it is either Vilvamangalam Swami or Divakara Muni. So, but the point is, Tulu Brahmanas are still the priests here. Okay. A little about the architecture of the temple.
its many dazzling features is the Gopuram, the tower, at the temple's
Sorry.
main entrance. The tower rises 100 feet above the ground, with a foundation that goes nearly 40 feet deep. Ornate sculptures adorn the walls of the Gopuram. The Gopuram was a later addition to the main temple, which itself is 1,000 years old. The construction of the Gopuram was started in the mid-16th century during the reign of the Travancore king Adityavarma and was largely completed in the 18th century during the rule of King Anuyam Thirunal Martandavarma. There are 7 floors to this tower structure, with a pair of window-like openings at the center of each floor on its opposite sides. On the exact 2 days of the equinox, one gets to see the setting sun aligned and passing exactly through each of the windows in roughly 5-minute intervals. On other days, the setting sun is blocked out from our view by the tower. Equinoxes are the 2 days of the year when the day and night are of approximately equal duration. On these days, the sun rises exactly east and sets exactly west. The equinoxes correspond to the 2 points where the projection of the Earth's equator on the sky intercepts the projection of the Earth's orbit around the Sun. The 2 equinoxes occur on dates close to March 21st and September 23rd every year. To make this alignment happen, the Gopuram had to be constructed at right angles to the exact east-west line, a feat requiring precision engineering. The inner sanctum of the temple, a much earlier construction, is also aligned this way.
Okay, so this is about how it's been constructed. So understand that we should be able to appreciate that they were able to understand the length of day and length of night and calculate it precisely and use it for the construction. So how much of data points they must have had and what should have been the kind of understanding and knowledge about astronomy that they were able to construct this temple in such precision. That is something we should be able to appreciate. Moving on, of course, the Travancore kings. So Martandavarma and the later kings. Martandavarma was the one, as I told you. So let me go back to the story of how the Lord laid there, right? He was made out of wood first, because the wood is what fell down, and from that wood he was made. And the entire, you must have gone to Kerala temples or at least seen the pictures of them. Most of them are made out of wood, correct? Here the deity himself was also made out of wood. So then what happened? After many years, there were forest fires and there were natural disasters, because of which the deity was also burnt up. So after that, Marthandavarma made sure that he gave the form of salagrama stones to make the deity. After that, he saw the Lord and decided, because that process of rebuilding the Anantapadmanabha Swami temple itself took some 40 odd years, it seems. And it couldn't have been done just by one generation. It could have been started by, say, his early ancestor, and he would have continued. So it is like 40 odd years of tavam. It's almost like a meditation, a process of tapas that this temple came about. And after that, at the end of it, Marthandavarma surrendered himself, gave up all his ego, surrendered himself onto the deity and said, "You are the Lord of this land and we will be your servants." He placed his sword in front of the Lord and said that. And from then the lineage was called Padmanabha Dasa. Dasa meaning servant. Padmanabha's servants, these people are. So there is a particular place in the temple called Uttakkal Mandapam. Uttakkal Mandapam is a place where only the royal family can do namaskaram. So we should not think, oh, it's inequality. They are trying to, hold it just for themselves. No, whatever is kept in that mandapam belongs to the Lord, it seems. Only those who belong to the Lord truly can do their namaskaram there, because the Padmanabha Dasas belong to the Lord, because the earlier ancestors have announced that. Correct? So they are called Padmanabha Dasas. Till date, they rule on behalf of the deity. They sign on behalf of the deity. They are just custodians of the land, but the owner of the land is Padmanabha, Sri Ananta Padmanabha. Okay. So once interesting thing is when India became free, okay, when India gained freedom, some of the territories did not want to become part of India or Pakistan. One such place was the Kingdom of Travancore, and they were afraid to join with either of them. Why? That is because they cannot, once they come under a common law, then how can they be ruled by Padmanabha? And the rules of the deity might not apply when the rules of the nation comes. So that was the kind of, all these concerns were there with the kings of Travancore, which Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel negotiated and ably solved. And because of that, they became part of Bharat, part of India. Okay. So, of course, coming to the wealth of Sri Padmanabha Swami temple, there are many, many coins in the temple which belong to, say, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, Latin coins. All these are there. What does that tell us? All golds and all precious metals from many, many centuries ago. It talks about the kind of trade that we had and the kind of, did you know that we held around 30% of the world GDP? Meaning out of the whole wealth generated in the world, 30% was from India. That was the kind of economy and that was the kind of strength we held trade-wise all over the world. So that riches. So when we had all these trade, we didn't splurge it all along. We kept it as treasury, and the treasury comes to the temple. And only at the time of need, grave need, the treasury will be opened and people will be helped. Otherwise, it belongs to the Lord. The Lord is the owner of the land. So that was the rule. That is why even today the vaults are not opened and the vaults are kept safe. Okay, in the Padmanabha Swami temple. Another, there are many, many interesting festivals in Ananta Padmanabha Swami temple. One of them being Arat. So Arat is basically Art. taking them to the sea and giving the deities a bath in the sea. So this is where the deity goes to the sea and everybody carries them. I would like to show you a video of that also. So interestingly, for this particular custom, they would clear up the airport, the airstrip. So this Thiruvananthapuram airport will not function on this particular day, on the day that Aratu happens. Because the Lord will be taken from the temple to the sea through the airstrips. And this is how it will look. I'm going to show you the video. So that's how it looks. Okay. So with that, we come to the end of day 2, Stories Behind Temples Season 2, the Divya Desam special. So I'll be opening up for questions if you have any. Thank you. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow again. If you have any questions, what do you mean by Aratu? Aratu means, Aru actually means Nadi, river, and bathing the Lord in the river. But here it is not the river, but it's the sea. So bathing the Lord in any water body. That's what is the meaning. Aratu. Yeah. 4 lords in the procession. Actually, there are 3. The main deities of the Thiruvananthapuram Sannidhi. There are 3 Utsava Murtis. I can confirm to you the names. I don't have them now. Sure. Okay, Lasya, what's your question?
Ma'am, which is the smallest Divya Desham in India?
Smallest. I'm not sure, but I can guess. There is one Divya Desam inside a Shiva temple. Usually that is not the case,
Inside
right?
the Shiva temple.
Yeah, inside the Shiva temple. So the Shiva temple is one of the Panchabhuta Sthalas. There is a small Sannidhi of Lord Vishnu inside, and that is considered to be a Divya Desam. So one small shrine inside a big Shiva temple being a Divya Desam of Lord Vishnu. Imagine. So that is the smallest, I guess. Okay, Charu, what's your question?
I have 2 questions. Which temple
Yes, go
is
ahead.
it? Which temple?
The Vishnu Divya Desam is Nilatunda Madhavan.
Which Shiva temple is it?
I think it is Ekambareshwara, if I'm not wrong.
Is there still wealth in the Kerala temple in the vaults?
Of course, there's no doubt about it. But we should not be giving importance to it because of the wealth. Okay. For us, whether there is wealth or not, Padmanabha Swami is important. Not because Padmanabha Swami is sitting on top of a lot of wealth. That's not why we pray to him. Okay. So let us have our intentions very clear and very right. Okay. Devavrata.
Yes, Ji. My doubt is in Thiruvananthapuram, they have said that the golden treasure it has been locked. So I have heard a line saying that the locks have been closed and inside some very poisonous venomous snakes are there. So if somebody tries entering, they'll just kill.
So what? Do we want to enter?
No, is it true or not?
So who can say whether it is true or not? I can tell you some answer, correct? But
yeah,
who can say whether it is true or not? Only if somebody goes in. And will somebody have the guts to go in when we say there is so much of venom and snake and this and that?
yeah.
No, right? So the point is, such legends have been made specifically so that these vaults are not mishandled. Today, every form of temple wealth is being mishandled. It is not being used for the very purpose it has been kept for. Okay, anything and everything is being called an emergency, and the temple vault is the first thing that people want to break. Whereas there are so many other sources. Why break the Lord's wealth? Right? First thing our attention goes towards is, why is it lying there? How can I appropriate it for myself? So that is the greedy us. That is how we are thinking these days. That is why all these legends have to be told. So that at least there is a fit of fear. At least because of that, we are not going and keeping our hands in the Lord's wealth. Otherwise, first thing, let us take Lord's wealth. Let's not think about what we have, what the government has, what this has, what that has. Straight to the Lord's wealth. Look at the temple lands today. Most of the temple lands have been given away. Correct? So if the wealth is also going to be given away like that, then what will remain? What will revive humankind when it actually needs revival? So maybe we are not in the worst situation yet for us to open that vault. So it's important to say such things. It's important to have that fear to open that vault. Because not everybody who has the key to the vault could be noble. Okay, so that's the answer.
Yeah, thank you, Ji.
Yeah, Vibha, go ahead.
Mom, so what is the order from the smallest Divya Desham to the biggest Divya Desham, and in which place it is located and what are they called?
Okay, I don't have a direct answer to this. I could give you audio notes for you to listen to the stories of all the Divya Desams. The Divya Desams have not been categorized on the basis of their size. The Divya Desams have been classified on the basis of their significance. There is a difference. There is importance and significance, cultural significance, because over the years, the buildings might have changed. Something might have come, something might have gone, but the number of people who have come and sung those songs there decide which is a great, more powerful Divya Desam and which is a less powerful one. Okay, so it's about the number of people who have gone there and number of people as in the Alvars who have gone there and some. That's what decides a Divya Desam. Okay, the categories of the Divya Desams. So it's not about the size. It's never been categorized size-wise. Okay, but the biggest we can obviously say it is Srirangam because Srirangam is a town by itself. Okay? It's bigger than anything else put together. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. I'm going to Margaret G. Go ahead.
Namaskaram. Actually, I don't have a question. I just would like to make a comment. I am from Brazil. I'm sitting here in São Paulo, Brazil. And I stumbled upon this course because I started studying Sanskrit with a teacher from Coimbatore. And I was Googling something about Sanskrit, and I stumbled upon this the site and the course. And I'm very much interested in Indian culture and Hinduism and about everything that has to do with India. And I'd like to congratulate all the parents that have enrolled their kids here. And I'd like to thank all the kids that are here to allow us grown up to be here in the course with them. And I have been going to India for the last almost 40 years. I have been to India more than 30 times. And I was in India this year for 2 months, January and February. And I was watching this class. I was crying inside out of joy because India has such treasures to give to the world. And I mean, especially in spirituality and in Dharma and how to guide us. And I studied Sanskrit on the same day. My Sanskrit class had just finished and I jumped from one room Zoom to this room Zoom. And in the Sanskrit class, the teacher was talking about this today, about Dharma and how this crazy Kali Yuga is and how people have lost ethics and everything. So I'd like very much to congratulate you and the organization for this kind of course. And I would really wish that more people could join, people from outside India, even like me, to know a little bit more about India and how India is important for the world, has always been, and how we learned so much about India. And I really have a very deep appreciation and love for everything that India has taught the world, and we have so much to learn. So thank you very much. And I appreciate that somehow I stumbled upon the course and I'm here. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be live every class because it's working time, like now it's 11:40 in the morning here. But thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Margaret
Thank
G.
you.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to see the initiative you've taken to be part of it, despite it being back-to-back for you. Please do watch the recordings and keep in touch. It will be very inspiring for all of us.
Definitely. Here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Namaste. Yes, I will take 2 more and then we will see the rest tomorrow. Okay, Vishuddha, what's your question?
Ma'am, my question was, can you tell the 3 Utsavan Murtis?
I don't know exactly the names. I'll get back to you tomorrow on that. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Any other question? I'm gonna see the questions from here. Anything on chat? Okay. I did not understand why the curd and butter fight in Urayur. Okay. It's just that Ranganayaki is a little cross that Vishnu had to go to Urayur and see the Devi there and come back. So it's a bit of jealousy there and a bit of ownership over Ranganatha. That Ranganatha also knew that was going to come up, but yet there is always, the love grows stronger once you have a fight. So that little fight with a little bit of drama. So relatable to all households. Okay. One second. Yeah, Swaminathan ji, please put your video on. It will be helpful.
Yes.
Yes.
I grew up in Srirangam and I had been to Padmanabha Kovel and all. Your classes are good. Two questions. I think I was very impressed with the previous lady's comments. Attending the class from Brazil, it is unbelievable. Are you going to be downloading these recording sessions? In other words, all the classes, every class.
I'm not sure. The Vyoma authorities will be able to help you with that better. But they said this is going to be available for you to watch throughout.
Right.
You know,
Yesterday, I missed the class yesterday. I was looking for it because I've been attending Vyoma courses. Oh gosh, I don't know, for the past 10 years. So I didn't see anything under my courses, not even mention of temples and all. That's fine. If you're going to take some time to download it, it's fine. Some of the facts you told me, I didn't even know, like Arath and things like this. But I grew up in Srirangam, so I know a lot about the local, but still some of the facts are not clear because many people may not even know unless they go and look at the literature behind it. Yeah, it's unbelievable. You touched on the point. People are pulverizing the property of the temple, Srirangam, Tiruvannakoval, lots of properties. All the politicians name a few DMKs and all, they pilfer it, they stole it. That is a human tragedy, right? I mean, the way they do things. Overall, I think the course is very good, very interesting, but I may not be able to attend every class because of the clash of my commitments, but I want to see the recording. That's why I wanted to know. So please do tell them to download it.
It is definitely going to be available, sir. But when is it going to be available alone, they will decide. So, but it is definitely going to be available.
Yeah. And you can also post some references to the literature which you mentioned so that I can go back.
Sure.
Some of the questions the kids asked, they can go back and
definitely. Sure. Sure.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And to get it from the native of Srirangam is extra special.
Yeah. In fact, my brother lives there, right on the banks of Amamandapam Kaveri River. So from he can see gopurams of Tiruvannakoval and Srirangam and Rockfort. So it's
the whole point of these courses is to create the curiosity in the child, so that the child, next time when we are planning a holiday, and the child must be able to say, I want to go to that place. I want to see these things. So if at all we can create that little curiosity in them, then our job is done. The rest is up to them,
In fact, in Dikshitar's composition, I finished it. I know I've been talking too much. He is Ranga Puravihara. He sings a song that he specifically mentions Bhuloka Vaikundam. So when he mentioned that, I was wondering why he was using that phrase there. So this is really, very, very beautiful information. I gathered. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you, everybody. We will meet again tomorrow. If there are any other questions, we will start with those questions probably tomorrow, and then we go into the session. We have new kshetrams to cover tomorrow. So see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'm allowing you to unmute yourselves, and we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste, ma'am. Ram.
Ram. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you. Namaskar. Ram.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you. Namaste.
What was the temple covered today?
Today was Sri Padmanabha Swami Temple, Urayur Temple, and a recap of Srirangam.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you. Namaste.
Ma'am,
Yes, Shravan.
I have when in which month the Agartha will be conducted?
It's Googleable, dear. So you can easily go and see for this year, which is the month. Okay, it is usually done, I think, in September, if I'm not wrong. Thank you. 3. Maratha festival. Pula Maipasi. October. Okay? October is when it will happen. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.
Thank you, ma'am.